Good evening, everybody. Hopefully, everybody can hear me. So, right now, there is, I guess I'm not sure what happened to my video, but I believe I got it fixed. Welcome to the Hillbilly Think Tank. This is Spencer Keck. I'm coming at you live from Tunnel Hills in Hardin County, Kentucky. And I hope I didn't lose too many of you, but I bet you I probably did. That was pretty tough. I'm not sure what was going on. But anyway, here in Hardin County, we believe there's nothing more important than life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. That's how we started our nation. That's how we intend on keeping our nation secure and fruitful. So I'm running for Hardin County District 3 Magistrate. I would love to have your vote. If you'd stick around and talk to me, we'll talk about some stuff going on in the rural sector, what's happening to veterans, and a couple other things, maybe little funnies along the way. So first up, right now, there is a new initiative being rolled out that actually could help us to be healthier. I think it's partially, I have to admit, coming from this MAHA movement, but it's called no-till farming. I've been interested in this for quite some time. I've heard about it from our local state USDA over the last 2 years. So 2 years ago, I first heard about it when I was at a Wild Turkey Federation banquet in Nashville, and I talked to some local USDA folks. So this no-till farming, it's great for your soil. It's great for our water purity, soil purity. It helps regenerate the soil instead of sapping out all the nutrients that we should eat in our food, because our food needs to suck up nutrients from the soil to pass on to us. And when the soil is dead, we don't get much nutrients from our vegetables and things we eat. So let's hear a little bit about what they have to say about it. And I'm going to see if I can get hold of everything else I had, but lost with that technical difficulty. So hopefully I didn't lose too many of you. But here we go. I'm going to share this.
As always, big news last week. The USDA announced plans for a new $700 million pilot program to help farmers adopt regenerative practices and support their transition to conservation ag. So we were visiting with Cambridge, Illinois no-tiller Monty Bottens shortly after this news broke. Well, here's Monty's initial take on the big announcement.
At this moment in time, we're about 2 hours after the live stream announcement. You and I know as much about that as everyone else. There's a lot of devil in the details here. So what is that going to mean? I don't know. I like the fact that they're recognizing soil health is connected to human health. So that's a point. I like the fact that they're going to focus on farmer-led pilots. So it's what is right for that context and let the farmer lead the pilot. I like that. How this is all going to happen could be really interesting because they want to use existing NRCS programs. So using an existing program to get money to a pilot of something that doesn't ever exist, I'm not quite sure how that's going to work, but it's a start. It's not regenerative's wackadoo, and long-term no-till and soil health practices are wackadoo. It's a recognition of that. It's a recognition that it can affect human health.
Great stuff there from Monty. And we reached out to the USDA for clarification on which regenerative practices exactly will be encouraged. We'll keep you updated on that. And in the meantime, head to no-tillfarmer.com to read more about the Regenerative Ag Pilot Program and how you can sign up. All right, with harvest in the rear view, now's a good time to start focusing on planter maintenance and making sure you're ready to roll when spring rolls around. It'll be here before you know it. Bill Limcool, Precision Agri Services, is going to help.
All right, so this no-till movement, again, it is going to revolutionize what farming has been for so many years. And now that we are going to have a urea shortage and currently have one due to the Strait of Hormuz being closed, hey, it is a great time to start getting back into true regenerative farming, using natural resources for fertilizer, such as, hey, let's collect all the cow manure, sheep manure, and start using it for fertilizer like we used to. It's great for the soil. It regenerates nutrients naturally into the soil instead of having to put heavy chemicals basically on the soil like industrial farming's been doing for a while. So with that being said, another thing that this will do is it really helps to not lose topsoil. It helps you to not have to use as much water when you're, growing your crops, because no tilling means the natural flora and fauna is just going to help trap in the water. You're not letting it be washed away and wash away the dirt every time raindrops pound on the dirt. So there's more to it than that, but this is a really big deal. The problem is that, according to the Daily Yonder, the USDA staff, right, they had a lot of cuts under Doge. They lost quite a few personnel in USDA when Doge just rolled through like a bulldozer and, cut out thousands of jobs at the USDA. So this Health and Human Services initiative that set aside $700 million for regenerative agriculture techniques like cover crops and no-till farming, well, that could really help our farmers to recoup the loss that we've had from the tariffs on Canada and, the tariffs on China. Those were big buyers of our soy. So now that they're not buying and we had a whole waste of soy crops, we need an infusion of cash into, our farming. And this, it's been high time that we get back to some of these ancient ways of growing our food that doesn't sap all the nutrients out of the soil and doesn't keep it from going into our plants and then being passed on to us as we eat them. So this is a big thing, $700 million for regenerative agriculture. But due to the fact that they lost so many employees at the USDA, there now will not be people to manage and hand out this much needed money. So it's going to undermine one of the actual good goals this administration has had to improve our soil health. But when they, went in with that chainsaw and cut 2,438 personnel from the National Resources Conservation Services, those are the ones who help, this program's going to benefit. Well, that's hurting the ability to push this out to local farmers. We also saw that the only place that was hit worse than that, right, because the USDA lost 24,000 employees. They've left the agency since last January, according to data from the Office of Personnel Management. When I say last January, I mean January, when this administration came in and started bulldozing all of these jobs from the federal government, right? So, man, many of the people who lost their jobs were still on a 1 or 2 year probationary period. And at the National Resource, the NRCS, we're talking about earlier, conservation program, the loss of their employees could have helped with the rollout of this regenerative agriculture initiative. And they could have also allocated $400 million to Environmental Quality Incentives Program, EQIP, and $300 million to the Conservation Stewardship Program, CSP, over the fiscal year 2026. So we're now almost into April, and we haven't been able to push this money out. So, guys, just another example of how current federal policies are hurting our local county farmers. This is something that we have to get a handle on, but we can't do it with this reckless way of governing that we've had since January of last year. It should be absolutely obvious now. I don't know what really more we can do to make it more obvious than this, because this is just, again, a whole way to rescue our way of life in rural Hardin County. We've got Glendale suffering from the loss of the EV plant, like we've talked about here recently. We need any innovative programs we can get to get grant money, given to our local folks to help us thrive. But we can't do it if we don't have folks that are in the position to roll this stuff out like it's supposed to be. So, in the meantime, what can we do to stop it? Well, biggest thing is you've got to call every single one of your representatives, congressmen, senators, and tell them enough's enough. Push back against this president. Push back against, the destruction of the American way of life and the American system that was helping us and could help us. So that's what we got to do. All right. In the meantime, on the VA sector, we've got some things that we need to be aware of, and I'm going to bring one of them up now so we can talk about it. Here we go.
You hear anything that you recognize. This is from a pamphlet disseminated to the United States Army in March 1945. The question posed in the pamphlet is, how do we identify American fascism at work? An American fascist seeking power would not proclaim that he is a fascist. Fascism always camouflages his plans and purposes. It would work under the guise of super patriotism or super Americanism. Fascists are neither stupid nor naive. They know they must hand out a line that sells. One of the first devices of fascism is to pit religious, racial, and economic groups against one another in order to break down national unity. Interwoven with this is a well-planned hate campaign against minority groups, used as convenient scapegoats. Fascism cannot tolerate the idea of the brotherhood of man. It denies international cooperation and teaches that only one group of people truly counts. It replaces cooperation with ultranationalism, fueled by suspicion and hatred of others. Another common tactic is the indiscriminate labeling of opponents as communists or enemies, regardless of facts. They claim that there are only two choices, fascism or chaos, and anyone who refuses to support them must be destroyed. That was 1945, right after Hitler had been defeated. That was guidance put out to our own military. Everything I just fucking read, you can equate to something in this administration. It's time to wake up, America. If you're an American, this was written for you. I'm going to put the full text in the description of the video, but please listen to these lines.
So, we've still got to hear that. That is still relevant today. And, this is why we're heading in the path we're heading in. Incompetent people thinking that just being ultra patriotic means you're a genius. I am very patriotic. I love my country, but I also recognize that there's no perfect system in the world. So I don't care what party you belong to, there's no perfect party. But for one party to try to say that it is and ignore any opinions, any dissenting opinions, that's when we are absolutely in danger. All right, let's see what Better Weather has to say tonight. Better Weather, welcome. And I lost a couple other great viewers today from, I don't know what was going on technically. All right, Better Weather says he hates everything because he sucks at everything. Yeah, that's absolutely on the nose of what's going on and how I feel too. And let's look at a couple of more important statistics here and see if this doesn't also resonate. You know, we know that right now they're telling us we have to have more money for ICE. ICE already has a larger budget than the FBI. It has 3 times the budget of the United States Marine Corps. And who could use that money more right now than anyone but the Marine Corps, since they're sitting right now waiting in this Marine Expeditionary Unit to see if they're going to be used in combat or not. They could definitely use these funds. All right, so let's look at this. The national debt just surpassed 39 trillion with a T, and Hegseth is asking for 200 billion more to go towards Trump's and Israel's war in Iran. So Captain Bone Spurs says we need more money for this war. What exactly did Doge do? Why did some of you ride Elon's nuts so hard? Did anyone receive their Doge dividend yet? Shouldn't Doge's savings be paying for this war? Heck, Doge, as we just saw in my previous videos, didn't save anything. Matter of fact, they're now costing farmers $700 million in what they could use for regenerative farming. So that is a problem, very big problem. What are we going to do to fix that? All right, let's just see what kind of nonsense also happens when the president met with the Chinese PM. This one really blew me away.
Well, one thing you don't want to signal too much. You know, when we go in, we went in very hard and we didn't tell anybody about it because we wanted surprise. Who knows better about surprise than Japan? Okay. Why didn't you tell me about Pearl Harbor? Okay. Right? You know, he's asking me, no, you believe in surprise, I think much more so than us.
Why didn't you tell US allies?
So, how absolutely callous was that? Yeah, it was a point, of course. We know the Japanese did surprise us, because they were negotiating with us when they attacked. But what's, of course, most ironic is we were negotiating with Iran when we attacked them. Right? And you're saying that to someone who is sitting next to you that also knows, hey, we made up for their surprise attack by dropping a nuclear bomb on them. Right? So you just look and see the amount of shock on her face that I'm sure was absolutely amazing. All right, hey guys, I'm going to play a game tonight. If anyone sees this shirt that I'm wearing right now, it's my brand new favorite shirt from Operator as Fuck Nation, Oath Nation. You can tell me what it says without words. I've got an extra one for you. What does that say without words? Give everybody time to type that there in the notes. Anybody that can tell me what it's saying without words, that'd be awesome. All right. Give I don't know. Let's do a 30-second timer. What do we say? What is this shirt saying? What is this art saying without words? One more time. Everybody see it? Yep. What's that saying without words? Get a camera close up. All right. Yep. If you can say what it means without words. I got another one of these T-shirts. It's yours. It is a XXX size though. But hey. All right. Hey, thanks, Coffee Cats, for saying please don't forget to like and subscribe. Yes, please, absolutely like and subscribe. All right. So, in addition to us losing 700 million for our troops, right, due to these Doge cuts, and now they want that much money to be used on this war of not necessity, but absolute stupidity. They want $200 billion more to go towards Trump's and Netanyahu's war in Iran. I'm sure that there's probably another knucklehead involved, and that's probably, that's probably Putin too. I'm sure he's benefiting from this. All right. Now, let's check out one last thing here. While waiting for people to make a comment, see if they know what that says. All right. One more thought here for the night. All right. So here we go. Bring this one up. Trump says they know where the Iranian sleeper cells are and claims there could be more than 1,700. So they spent the last 9 months raiding Home Depot parking lots instead of arresting literally anyone from the massive network of Iranian terrorist cells. Is that what they're telling us? You know, they've got Lowe's and Home Depot on the hook. They have agreed to turn in any license plates with brown-skinned folks there to get jobs or to buy supplies for work. You know, that right there has made me boycott those two companies. But yeah. All right, no idea on the shirt. You know what? I'll probably if no one can guess it, I'll probably bring it out one more night. I've got a feeling that, you know, Coffee Cat, you should be able to guess it. Better weather, yeah, you should be able to guess it. If Bear Paws, maybe he could. Captain Spooner, face print redacted. Hey, kind of close in the vicinity, but not quite so much. Yeah, one last shot. Let's see. Let me take this. Stop sharing that. Yep. So, all right. Yeah, there's Tom. Tom, come on, Tom. This one's your size. Love to give it to you. Let's just say it perplexed me what it meant too for about, I think I received this either Monday or Tuesday. I'm like, what does it mean? Do I want to wear it? Is it subversive in a direction that I don't like? I wasn't sure. Tom says he's late to the party, so I don't know what shirt. Here we go. Now you see it. Yeah, so you got the little one there, and then the big one here. Come on, Tom. All right. So I had fun with this one today at school. I asked my students, what does this shirt say? And if you ever remember using RACE to write your paragraphs, R&A is restate the question, answer the question. That's one sentence. Cite your evidence is one sentence at least or more. And then explain in 3 sentences. You know, they should get a 5 paragraph or more out of that. Captain Spooner, you're getting kind of closer. Yep. Tom says he sees it. Come on, Tom. Lupe got it immediately when I walked upstairs last night. As I was walking upstairs, from down here in the basement, looking at it carefully. Then I started seeing, I had gone online trying to figure it out, but it wasn't until I had picked it up closely. Someone's got the fact. Let's see. Who else that came close here? All right, redacted. You're getting that from the red line. Can also be another simpler meaning from the red line. Coffee cats, come on, guys. This is the perfect protest t-shirt. Absolutely perfect protest t-shirt. Matter of fact, if you work with Republicans, I urge you to figure out this puzzle, win it, and wear it in front of your Republican friends. I'm just got to give a real good shout out to OAF Nation. While you're thinking about it, one more time, but OAF Nation made it. They're the ones we just looked at their quote. Yep. So you actually won't see it online yet. I belong to their t-shirt club. So I accidentally got an extra. So yeah, Captain Spooner, you've gotten close a couple times now, almost. I would drop the online part. Right. Let's see. Tom says he's off work on the 28th and might go to some No Kings frivolousness. Yeah. Tom, this would be the absolutely perfect shirt for No Kings. I was so glad today when I came home and an extra one had arrived. So give you some clues here. Let's see if I can find some Instagram stuff that should bring it home to everyone. I think I saw something a second ago. Let's see. Where did I see that at earlier? I saw something. There we go. All right. So this should give it away. If not, yeah. All right. Here I'm going to go. Giving it away right now. I'm going to give you the big reveal. Should be able to get it from this one. 19-year-old dies in ICE custody, marking the 13th death this year. Again, this is OAF Nation made this. If you don't actually subscribe to OAF Nation, you're wrong, especially if you're I'll just say a progressive veteran like myself who loved the fact that I spent a lot of years in action in the military and had a lot of adventures. But these guys are not pulling any punches when it comes to their reporting, hard-hitting reporting. And, I don't think that they're at all right-wing, at all, now that I've been watching them a lot. All right, Tom, come on. I just put the big clue up. So you see what I've got on the screen right now. 19-year-old dies in ICE custody, marking 13th death this year. All right, I'm going to bring that down, and you should have it. Should be able to have it. Just a second, I'm going to go off camera, be right back while everybody's thinking about it. Actually, I'll put on another video, and then I'll bring up a closer view. All right, let's see here. So let's do one more.
We didn't need to be in this war. This is uncalled for. And this is what we get.
Families are suffering right now. Not only our family, but there are other families that's lost loved ones. And just to create a war because you want to create a war, it's not right.
And we listened. They said, finish this. Honor their sacrifice. Do not waver. Do not stop until the job is done.
We didn't need to be in this war. This is uncalled for. And this is what we get.
Families are suffering right now. not only our family, but there are other families that's lost loved ones. And just to create a war because you want to create a war, it's not right.
And we listened. They said, finish this. Honor their sacrifice. Do not waver. Do not stop until the job is done.
We didn't need to be.
All right, y'all. Okay. So one last chance here. Come on, Tom. Come on, copycats. I gave away a huge clue earlier. Let's see. Nobody? All right. Yeah, love to give this one away. Let's see if Tom's going to get it. I'm being too literal. Yeah, too literal. Yeah. I see mask your fingerprints. All right. That's kind of what some of the kids say today. And because they gave me some evidence, I didn't say that they're wrong. And I have IR reflecting lenses to mask facial recognition. Better way to A, I feel dumb. You know what? I think this is going to be an awesome one. LOA, me too, by the way. Facial ID. All right. I'm going to call it here for tonight. Tomorrow night, I've got Logan Forsyth coming on. He's going to be here, if I remember correctly. I scheduled it for 6. I have it posted. You should be able to see there right now what time I'm saying that he'll be on. But I'm pretty sure. Let me double check what he and I said. Logan Forsyth is running for Senate. He's trying to get the Democratic nomination. He wants to take Mitch McConnell's spot. So let me just double check, make sure I'm telling you the right time. And I'm going to do it again. Have fun with this again tomorrow. We'll pull that T-shirt out again. See if maybe future Senator, possibly Logan Forsyth, can fix it out. Yeah. So tomorrow night at 6, he will be on. I'll pull it out again. You guys, I mean, especially, yeah. All right. I got Renaissance Hillbilly. So awesome to see you tonight. No, it's not facial ID. And so, guys, tune in tomorrow. I might just have to flip a coin if none of you get it. I'll at least give Logan Forsyth a chance to guess it tomorrow, now that none of us have been able to. Guys, he's hard-hitting. If you don't know who he is, he's from Western Kentucky. He wanted to join the military when he was young. Really tough life growing up. He'll talk about it. Had due to some, something he was born with. He couldn't join the military. He went to work for the DOD for a couple of years after going to UK and going to law school at Northern Kentucky. Then he went to work for the Secret Service. He was one of the protectors, bodyguards for President Obama. Then he was a bodyguard for President Trump. Then he was a bodyguard for President Biden. He was injured in a horrible car wreck in Kentucky sometime after that. And so he had to retire from Secret Service. And he's been now a lawyer for, workers' compensation and other worker rights things. But he's decided that he has the fight in him and he wants to see a fighter beat these Republicans. And so please come and listen to him tomorrow, see what you think. And if you agree with me, I've heard him speak now live at the local party meeting that we had in downtown Elizabethtown here recently at Water's Edge. And he's very inspiring. His story is going to blow you away. So yeah, tune in tomorrow. We'll pull the T-shirt out again, see if he can guess it. give you guys all a chance to, and you guys can think about it. It literally took me 2 or 3 days to figure it out. It wasn't until I closely looked at it, as I pulled it up to the camera a second ago. You can rewind this later. You might be able to figure it out. Y'all, here in Kentucky, we know that our motto, united we stand, divided we fall. That is an absolute truth. So in order not to be divided, we must love our neighbor as ourselves. And one of our neighbors, Sergeant Pennington in Glendale, is going to be coming home tomorrow for the last time. He's going to arrive in Fort Knox, I believe 1 o'clock. I've asked work if I can leave an hour early, along with another veteran friend of mine. We're going to follow the procession from Fort Knox down Dixie Highway. They're going to make quite a few stops on the way to him being interred. And yeah, I'm not going to miss it. I lost my brother, like I've shared with you guys. This is really hitting really close to home, because this month is when I mourn my brother every year. And then, yeah, it hits hard. He was a student in Hardin County Schools, where I first started my third career now that I'm on as a teacher. So I will be going to that tomorrow. And then, they're going to be laying him to rest here in Hardin County. So anybody who can make it to this recognition of a life cut short, he's only 26. Please come on out. Let's honor him. That's Sergeant Pennington tomorrow. It's going to be his procession. It's going to fly into Fort Knox, and we're going to take him all the way home. Stop making many stops along the way. All right. So that's part of loving our neighbor as ourselves, recognizing the families that are grieving the loss of a beloved native son. We've lost 2 Kentuckians in this, to me, senseless war. But I support anyone that is deployed overseas in the name of our democracy and our Constitution primarily. So, we can't be divided if we recognize that we are our brother's keeper and we are our sister's keeper as well. So y'all, please vote for me. I am running for magistrate, Hardin County, District 3. And as Coffee Cats so wonderfully wrote on here, please like and subscribe. Please tell other people. I'm looking to see if I can hit 250. Last time I looked, about 9 shy of 200. I need to get to 1,000 to really get people to start, spreading the word, for it to pop up locally for more the voters to actually be able to see me in this district. So like and subscribe. And bless your corazón, corazón being Spanish for heart. And remember, everyone deployed. Hope you guys have a great evening. And yeah, thank you there, Captain Spooner. I really appreciate that. And we all will have a